Hello and welcome back to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. Today we're going to talk about how to create a masculine layout. But first, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and be sure to tag the bell icon so you get an alert every time I upload a new video. So let's go ahead and get started. I have here the Urban paper pack from Close to My Heart, and this is what they call a bring back my pack. So they have given it a fresh makeover and updated the colors, and I love this paper pack. I loved it the original time it came out, and I love it even more now. You can see we have all these great texture background papers with the splatter. They have kind of a grunge feel to them. Perfect for creating that masculine vibe on a scrapbook layout or even cards. So all these papers are double-sided, and then I went ahead and got the kit, and there's just several gorgeous sheets of cardstock in here. There's French vanilla and toffee, sapphire, saffron, and pewter. Just yummy color palette. And also available is this stamp that goes along with the Urban paper pack, and you can see there's definitely some cool masculine stamps on that. And here are the wooden, it's an assortment of wooden arrows and chevron shapes. You can ink these up or use them raw wood. I mean, you can do a lot of different things with these particular elements. So I have several pictures of my son. He is almost 16 and he's just completely into airsoft. It's kind of like paintball, but a little bit different. But I thought these pictures would go perfect with this pack, and so I'm going to use those in today's layout. So as you can see, this is going to be a double page layout. I want my feature photo, the most important photo, to kind of be on the left side, front and center, so to speak. And basically I just roughly, lay down my photos and figure out what type of configuration I want them in. And I'm going to mainly focus on the left-hand side of this layout right now and complete that one first. I'm going to start by bringing in the pattern papers and the colors that I know I want to incorporate into this layout. My son's wearing a lot of black and gray, and so I definitely want to incorporate those metal looking pattern papers. And then I'm going to use this sapphire blue. It's just a really rich color and very masculine in itself, I think. So although I love blue and I wear a lot of blue, it definitely lends itself well to masculine layouts. So I really like that rusted kind of grungy edge on this it's like almost like a diamond plate pattern. And so when I trim it down, I made sure not to trim off that edge because I wanted it to be on my layout. And this blueprint paper is just really cool, so I definitely want to incorporate some of this into my layout. So when we're talking about creating a masculine layout, the most important thing you want to start with is your color scheme. Colors for any project really kind of set the tone or set the stage, and they invoke feeling. You can use bright and cheerful colors or kind of somber colors and like edgy. I mean, what is it that you're wanting to portray when you're telling, because that's what we're doing when we're creating scrapbook pages, is we're telling the story behind the photos. Along with the color scheme, you want to talk about texture. You can see I just went around the edges, and I'm with my edge distressor, and I'm roughing up the edge of this paper just to give it kind of this grungy vibe, and it works well. So we have our colors palette, but we also have all these beautiful textures worked into this paper. We have like that metal corrugated tin look. There's the splatters, the wood grain, this industrial vibe, and those all work very well for this layout that I'm doing of my teenage son, just to give it that edgy vibe that I'm looking for. I'm also going to create some faux metal embellishments with heat embossing, so I will show you what I do with that a little bit later in the video. Right now I'm just building up my layers and working in these different pattern papers, and I'm using the different colors to matte the photos and add a little contrast. And I really like this sticker that says "Attitude is Everything." It makes a really quick title. I'm not 100% sure, so I went ahead and pat that on my jeans to remove the adhesive. And if I decide to use it, I can always go back and apply adhesive, or I'll probably pop it up on foam tape if I decide to put that title there. So I'm going to put these photos on an angle just to add some interest, and I want to incorporate some of these stamps. So we have this, it's much like that kind of that diamond plate, and what I'm going to do is use my Versamark embossing ink and just put a few of these around the page, and I'm going to emboss that with silver embossing powder, and that again is going to lend itself to that metal look and just add a little bit of interest onto the paper and some texture. So I'll go ahead and get this heat set, and you can just see that coming to life there with the silver. Very cool. And now I just want to kind of put my pictures back, make sure that's where I want it, and I decide I want one up there in between my photos, so I will add one there. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process of embossing, and then I end up adding a few more, which I don't capture them all on camera, but you get the gist of what we're doing here. Just adding that little pop of silver for some color and texture and just some interest in there around that blue paper there, and you can see it just is going to peek out from behind the photos and be subtle but have a really nice impact on the overall finished product. So I'm looking to see what else I can pull off the sticker sheet, and I really like this tag. I think it'll look nice up here and be the base of an embellishment cluster. And I decide I want to add a little bit more embossing, so I will go ahead and get that done. And I went into my Cricut design space and created some gears. You know, that's a big part of the airsofting. My son actually likes to do all the tech work on his airsoft guns, so he's into a lot of mechanical stuff, and there's always gears and parts always scattered over my house, so these also go very well with this layout. And to give them that faux metal look, I put down my all-purpose mat, and I'm literally just tapping them with my Versamark ink pad and dipping them in the silver embossing powder, and then I'm just going to heat set those, and you'll see they just give that look of metal, and this works really well. You could do this with bronze or gold, and you can even mix the colors. That would be really a cool look. I go ahead and do all these in silver. I'm showing you the first one, and then I'll go ahead and get the rest of these done. So I really like using gears. For one, you can't get any more masculine than gears, but they add a lot of, you know, shape to our layout. We have a lot of hard lines, a lot of squares and rectangles, and this gives us a lot of interest because they're round, and also now a different texture because I heat emboss them. So they really add a lot. I went ahead and cut that one in half because there was no sense in hiding it all behind the photo, and now I can use the other bits and pieces on the second half of my double page layout a little bit later. So I'm just going to use again half of this gear up here peeking out, and then, you know, I have these in different sizes. They're 1 inch all the way up to 3 inch, and I'm just going to incorporate these around, and I'm using the liquid adhesive for these. It works really well, and it's easy to apply to the background or the backside of our embellishment. And I'll get these tacked down into place there. And I really love the shine. I apologize for the shine on the photo. I'm actually scrapbooking with a bunch of friends for the weekend, and I'm not in my regular place. So the overhead lighting is a little bit different, and I really couldn't do anything to eliminate that. So anyway, I'm putting foam dimensional squares on the back of my title, and I'm going to pop that up. I just set a block on top of that die cut, or that little gear over there, because it wasn't wanting to adhere down. Now I have all these wooden arrows, and there's also some sticker arrows on the sheet there, so I'm going to incorporate some of those. Along with gears, arrows and stars work really, really well on boy pages. So that's kind of a go-to for me. They're easy to incorporate. They kind of go along with just about anything. So definitely like to incorporate those stars and the arrows. And these are kind of neat because we have the outline there on the left, and then I can use the inside piece, make the little chevrons, and glue those separately over there. So I've already cut a lot of these pieces to speed this process along and repeated my, embossing on there. So this one will come along quickly. I know everybody's busy, but hang tight and I will show you the finished layout in just a moment there. I was so happy my son wanted these pictures for his Instagram account because all his friends were teasing him that there were no photos on his Instagram account. So he asked, "Hey Mom, can you help me out and shoot some photos?" Let me tell you, he didn't have to work hard to talk me into that. I said, "Yes, I'll do it as long as you let me take some without your mask on," because he's very difficult to get a good photo of. So I was super happy he wanted to go out and do this photo shoot. And I loved the pictures I got without his mask on. So it was a fun afternoon. We went out in the woods and just had a good time and had fun and lots of laughs. You can see that city line sticker that I put up towards the top of the page, and that is from the sticker sheet. And now I'm incorporating a few more of the stamp images. I'm flipping my mat over so I have that nice foam cushion, and I can just slide my layout up because it's not adhered yet. And I kind of put that little border stamp, it's like a little textured flourish down there, and I stamp that in Gold Rush. And I like that it just adds a little pop of that kind of saffron color. And then I'm using my blue, sapphire blue. Well, actually this is Moonstruck, but it's very similar to the sapphire blue. And there you have that finished page. I added the gears, and now we have both of our pages together. I went ahead and added my journaling on the computer there and typed it up and cut it into strips. But you can really see how cool those gears look, and they add a lot of shine and unique shapes to this layout. So I would love to know what tips and tricks you guys have to add to your boy masculine layouts. Let me know what your favorite embellishments are, and if you guys have any kind of go-to things that you like to incorporate on those pages. I will leave a link to another video that I created using some of these masculine tips and tricks that we just talked about. So you're going to want to watch that for more inspiration. And for more information, you can always visit my blog at craftyconceptswitherin.com. I will have a list of supplies in the description box below. There's that video I was telling you about. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.